Hello everyone, Alexman here, and welcome back to another session of The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time. Now, disclaimer last session, OBS was being kind of stupid. There was a lot of frame drops at times, and that's something I was not able to avoid during the recording process. When those get active to YouTube, those 4 parts, as they are into 4 parts, they will have frame drops. Just let anyone know when they watch this in the post when that comes up. So bear that in mind. But this time, however, last session we did clear up the forest temple and the fire temple, and now we get to do that dungeon. We're going to the water temple, folks. You all ready? I guess we're all ready, I guess. So the water temple song is A down, right up. Alright. I say we just go there and hope for the best. This is the Serena of Water, and let's head off to the next dungeon. Since we got the Serena of Water as our first warp song, we might as well use it for another time. Now, I'm also, before we go into the dungeon, I am going to try to rectify a problem that was a few sessions ago. We're trying to get the Scarecrow song. For some odd reason, I just did not have the right song, I guess, when I wrote down. So we're going to go after that first before we go into the Water Temple. And deal with all that temple's problems. Now, a lot of people do complain about the Water Temple being scary, bad, unfair. Well, it's only because you have to pause the game almost every 3 minutes. Probably even less than that. Hey, you. Yes, I'll play that song, and I know my song now. Let's play that song this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There it is. I did this last session, and our sessions ago, and it didn't trigger it for some reason. But oh well. Now we have it. Oh yeah, that's a tune. You rock. I'm blown away. Oh, no. I didn't forget the song. I never forget anything. But I just feel like they're rewarding you, baby. I have a good idea. My buddy Pierre is wandering around, so play that tune when you want to call him. I'll tell him to help you if he's nearby and bears that song, baby. So yes, now that that song is officially not with us, if you play the Scarecrow song now, the one that you create, at certain places, this other wandering Scarecrow, Pierre, will show up, and you can use him as a hookshot target. So that's nice. So there was a lot of things in the previous 2 temples you could use that song for, and you could actually get to other areas that you couldn't before. Now, we can't dawdle any further. It is time, folks. It is time. The Water Temple at long last. We have to put our iron boots on, like so, and sink to the bottom. Now, you may recall that we can't use our sword. As you can clearly see, it's all knocked out. It's all faded out. We can only use our hook shot while underwater. It is our only weapon. We can shield enemies with our shield, but we can't use our sword. Kind of underwhelming, if you might say. Which was rectified in Twilight Princess, where you could swing your sword underwater. So again, it is feasible, but yeah. Welcome to the Temple of the Water. As well as the Temple of the Pause Screen, because we're going to be doing that a lot tonight, folks. Yes, this temple's all about it. And I gotta reset my items, because we're going to be using arrows a lot. I think we're going to be using a lot of arrows. But we're going to get this up, though. Because we might be using Dense Fire too. Water Temple's gimmick. It is vertical based, as well as water level based. Meaning, you better have a good sense of direction. This temple can take, literally, this could be rivaling as the longest temple in the game. Only because of what you have to do and when you have to do it. There are keys abundant everywhere, and it's a little tricky to get around. as well as water physics. Makes everything a little wonky. Oh, hello! Oh, you, if I'm right, Alexman. You're Alexman, aren't you? It could be. It's me, your fancy Ruto, Princess Azores. Oh, right, about that. I never forgot the vows we made each other 7 years ago. I kinda forgot. Sorry. You're a terrible man to have kept me waiting for these 7 years. Well, it's not like I had any choice of being held. My spirit was held for 7 years. What can I do? But now time talk about love. I'm sure you've already seen it. Zor's domain, totally frozen. A young man named Sheik saved me from under the ice. But my father and the other Zors have not yet. Your father is? I freed him. That's how I got this tunic. Oh, well anyway, I want to save them all. I want to save Zor's domain anyway. You have to help me. This is a request from me, the woman who's going to be your wife. Alvin, you have to help destroy the evil monster in the temple, okay? Inside the water temple. There are 3 places where you can change the water level. I'll lead the way. Follow me quickly. Well, she asks us to follow her, but after she moves here, she completely disappears. It's like, I'm not sure how you were able to disappear like that, but whatever. Now, you may recall the 3DS version fixes this temple drastically, making the iron boots, or at least all the boots anyway, an actual item that you can slip on or off with using the C buttons. Or the item buttons, at least. That's what makes this temple a little bit better in the 3DS version. But in this version, not so much. Well, we get introduced to these guys. Well, you must know, these are spikes. I guess I could say it's aim for it when it retracts its spikes, I guess? Then it's not a spike, it becomes a ball. I guess you're right on that one. Ow! Yeah, these things are a bit annoying. But you gotta be careful, you can't just widely swing at them. If you widely swing at them, they will release their spikes to you again in a quick succession, so just take your time taking them down. Now get used to this, folks, because there's a lot of dead-end rooms that just have chests at the end of them. And, we're gonna be getting, I think this is the map we're getting already, because, Alright, you got the map, you know what it is. Use it. Man, the narrator for getting items is getting lazier by the day. So we got these items here. You have to use Zelda's Lullaby to raise and lower the water. This one here is called level 1 area. This will reduce the water all the way down to ground level. And we will not suffer any fall damage by doing this. Perfect. Now, the game actively asks you to use arrows to light these up. Why do that when you have dense fire, which you can load them up easily? Because in the normal quest for Ocarina of Time, dense fire is rarely used. Oh, we got new enemies. Oh, this is shell blades. Its eternal muscle is its weak point. These things can only really be killed by destroying their middle section. The hook shot is actually the best weapon to actually use to take these guys down. If you don't hit them fast enough, they turn around and they speed towards you. Like that. Take those bad boys down. Alright. So you guys in chat have any bad memories of the water temple? This temple is just really big. My big folly with this is that you think you've gotten through every room, but you find out that no, you haven't. And you have to double down and backtrack and everything else, and you're just like, man, where is everything in this dungeon? Alright, we got another room. And also, some rooms are just completely optional, but they're all just there is just to waste your time. Either they have an optional reward, like a gold sculpture, or something of that sort. We have to pause again, turn back around here, get our iron boots. Oh, no, I mean to get the iron boots on. Please, there we go. I am glad that the 3DS version fixes this issue, making this temple a lot easier. Come on now. There we go. It would be nicer if we could use our sword, but nah, we can't do that. Not until Twilight Princess. And even then, there's really not much reason to actually use your sword after the fact in Twilight Princess when you're underwater anyway, because there's not very many areas that you would need to use your sword underwater, despite it all. Like here, come on, there we go. We have Tektites of the blue variant, because they're technically like water skippers. And you might say, how do we get through this door? Well, we can actually use our sword and clip through the wall, apparently. There we go, and take down that golden sculpture. Again, this is one of the few optional rooms. Not bad at all. And they do give you a lot of arrows, because the game or this temple asks you to use your arrows for a lot of things, even though you have a perfectly good hook shot, which literally does everything the arrows can do, and possibly more, except for the elemental variety. Alright, so let's get down here. Alright, let's go back this way. But how is everyone doing tonight? I hope everyone's having a fantastic night, despite all the problems the world has. I'm trying not to let it bother me. As long as this temple's bothering me more than any illness I've been hearing about. Anyway, let's get back here, hit this door. Now we can go to the center of this place. What we want to do is, there's a hookshot target right there. Swim up this way. Sing some tunes. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. And that camera angle shows us there's a secret passage under the water. I say we head that way. Again, in this temple. This temple's real big concern, or at least the biggest strategy or tip for it, is basically if you see an opening, go for it. There's probably is something worth your while here. So we swing all to the bottom. There's no enemies here. At least not yet, or probably like that. Oh, nope. We got into this room. We got to trigger the crystal switch. And it drops down spikes and shell blades. And see, the spikes are a little bit more dangerous, as they can almost float in water almost at that point. Ah. Oh, come on. But you can block with your shield and basically make their spikes retract. So we'll do that way. At least I'm grateful that they allow you to use your shield. If they wouldn't allow you to use your shield underwater, I would say this would be almost an unplayable dungeon. Because you have no way to defend yourself underwater, if that would have been the case. So we defeat all the enemies, and again, this is mostly how you're going to get almost every reward in this temple. Is that there are certain puzzles in this dungeon, like any other place. But most often than not, the reward is really, you get into a room, kill everything, and you'll most likely have the reward you're looking for. And I probably will say this dungeon probably has the most keys out of any dungeon. Which doesn't make too much sense, but, you know, what can you do? Alright, let's get down this way. So now we got what's down here. We now need to head back to that other room we were just in. Where we're about to lower the water down to level 1. Because if we saw there originally, there is a crack in the wall there that we can destroy with bombs. So we need to go back there and blow that wall up. As again, do not leave any stone unturned, because if you do, you'll most likely get to the last point. Because there's a point in the dungeon where it's like, oh, you need to get this and get to the final key where I think that's where the boss. No, that's not where the boss key is. I think that's where the final small key is. And once you get through that, that's where like the last key you're gonna get. So, and you'll most likely get there, and you'll mostly find out, oh, I'm short one key. Like, why? It's like, oh, because you missed this one particular spot at the start of the dungeon, because you didn't look everywhere, and now you have to backtrack everywhere. Luckily, this is the last time we have to be in here, technically for requirements, I think. Because otherwise, the only reason we need to come back here is either to lower the water down again. We shouldn't have to, unless deemed necessary. We blow this wall and we get another chest, which also contains... You found a small key! This key will open a locked door you can use only in this dungeon. Alright, let's go. Alright, I'm just checking my stream real quick, making sure it's not dropping anything. I'm baffled by the last session when we had frame drops and I couldn't detect them. That still annoys me. Ow! Oh, you must be the spiked frame rate I've been caring about, huh? Well, I'll take you down like that. Aha! Take that, you. I do believe we need to head up, because I think now we need to actually clear up that wall right there. But to do so, we're going to have to do a lot of warping and backtracking. And again, get used to it, folks, because I would say probably thus far, this is more likely the worst dungeon in the game, just because of the backtracking you have to do. First, come over this way. And then you can let this Tick-Tite drop. This is probably the most trollest Tick-Tite in the game. Thinking, oh, I need to be right here. Use a projectile item. If I could just get right there, come on. Okay, I'm gonna have to use my bow and arrow. Well, at least we have max arrows anyway, so that's actually a pretty nice plus. Oh, this control's a little sensitive. Like, man, I'm so used to gyro aiming. You can't get used to an older mechanic. You certainly cannot. Go up this way. Go up this way. Through here. And it's bad enough that the door's locked behind you. But here's the third and final of the three of the raising the water levels. Activating this will raise the water level to its max, allowing us to get access to a certain few extra rooms. And we want to get access to all these rooms at any time, because I'll tell you, because again, you should not leave any stone unturned. Back this way. Come on, get up here. Take care of these Tick-Tites. Now I believe, yeah, we have to go through here, I believe, because there's a particular doorway, a particular hallway we can't get access to yet because we don't have a particular ability to do so. But this area here is probably the last area you're going to be getting access to in the dungeon itself, right here. Because what we have to do is that we have to pull this wall out, and you can see the hallway to the right there. Is that we're not going to be accessing to that hallway until much later in the dungeon. So make a mental note of that. Because we're going to be back here later. As we head back this way. Alright. But now we need to lower the water level back to ground zero again. Because we have to move that block at the bottom and then redo all the steps all over the place. Re-step again. Yep, because you can't play the Ocarina, because you have to play the Ocarina in 3 specific spots. And if that particular spot is covered in water, well, kind of bad luck on your end, because you can't use the Ocarina underwater. Because that would be like... it wouldn't sound well. And the fact is that the game is very specific on hearing the exact tone, the correct tone for the Ocarina. Which means you're going to have this on your C item at all times because it makes you kind of a requirement. Alright, we got Zelda's Lullaby done first. Alright, back down we go. And I'm glad that these magical fires, these fire posts here, actually automatically light up when there's no water touching them. Now that's insta-fire right there. Alright, jump up this way. We can push this boulder away now. Come on, baby! Fire away! Alright, it's time to go in what this room gives us. Well, I really should put my hook shot on because I'm really going to be needing that more bombs right now at the moment. Right. Now we gotta pause again. Again, we're gonna have to be pausing a lot, folks. It's gonna be this way for probably the mostly of tonight. He's pausing and reshuffling our items. We go into here. We have a Tektite. Well, this is a very sensitive controller. There we go. Come on, stop jumping. There we go. Hit that sword. We gotta jump on the water spires. That's a little tricky. Come into this room here. Spiral water, much? Alright, pause again. There we go. Woo. Let's go in there, raid pirate. You've been lurking. You got. Well, you're playing Animal Crossing. You got a new villager. Sweet. Again, for those watching after the fact, I have been playing the new Animal Crossing game as it's out at the time of this stream. I've been playing that constantly myself. And basically, the water is better than it is here. Get out of here, you shell blades. Come on. These two shell blades are probably the most jerkest enemy placement of all time. Because it's like, oh, you gotta get hit. You're gonna have to get through with getting those enemies cleared. So we gotta go up here. We got another key for us. Again, Raid Pirate, thank you for being here. Even though you're lurking, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. Alright, so now we need bombs. We're gonna drop this down. Pause again. Again, we're gonna be doing this is the entirety of how you do this dungeon, folks. Probably the fastest ever. It's just to be efficient with your pauses. And now we've got that item, we can now head back to the main area and raise the water back to the second floor. So I believe now we've gone through every room possible. Oh, this guy's back. It's a good thing we have this double-handed sword, though. Making almost any enemy encounter a complete joke. Except for Stalfos, because I almost got completely owned by Stalfos in the forest temple. I swear I could have had a better time with that dungeon. To be fair, that was not my best run. Right, going back this way. Gotta do more pausing. Seriously, this is not the water temple anymore. This is the temple of pausing. It didn't sound as good. Oh right, I have to use the hook shot here to get out of this spot. That's right. So I have to sink down to the bottom, use the hook shot, and get back up. Come on out. There we go. Come on, baby. And you can't use any of your items while swimming, so if you want to use a hook shot, you better be on the ground. Ow! I wish I could have a fairy right now, but I can't find the fairy right now. Alright. Now we've got that taken care of, I think now we can actually handle the middle areas. Because now I think we have the ability to actually get to the mid-boss of the dungeon. Oh no! And there is something I hate about the hookshot at times. If you're not directly point blank onto the target, you can't grab the... I think I really should have grabbed a fairy, but I don't. I only have a health potion to hopefully I don't die. Oof. Alright, let's go up this way. Alright.